Okay guys, show me your fingers. Alright, I'm going to ask you a question. How much do you like public speaking? You're going to give me an answer 0 to 10. 10 means, Barry, I love it. How did you guess? But 0 means I hate public speaking. So have a think. Give yourself a score 0 to 10. We have 8 and we have 6. Okay, that's all right. 8 is a high number. It's normal. You can put your hands down. That means you like public speaking. By the end of this 15-minute seminar, you're going to like it even more. 6 is the middle. You don't hate it, and that's okay too. Everyone's different. They have a different score. But a British magazine did I don't know if you know it, called Parade.
Yeah.
They did a survey of American fears. What do you think the #1 fear was?
Must be public speaking.
Must be public speaking.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Yeah.
What do you think #2 fear was?
I know this one.
You know this one?
Death.
Death. It's coming, yeah. People have seen this survey, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Would you prefer death or public speaking?
I would take public speaking.
Okay, yeah. Jerry Seinfeld, who you all know from the show Seinfeld, had a joke about this. If you had to go to a funeral, you'd rather be lying in the casket than giving the eulogy. That's how much people fear. But I have a second question for you. And again, the 10 fingers. I've asked you how much you like public speaking, but how good do you think you are? Considering everything, considering all the kind of communication you give, out of 10, how good do you think you are? Okay, we have 6 and 5. Okay, all right. So if 10 is the best communicator in the world and 0 is the worst, you're kind of coming in the middle, okay? Okay, hands down. Most people we've seen, and most people we see in speaking, are a 4. They're not good, they're not bad. But we all have techniques when it comes to speaking in public. We may rely on our intelligence, we may rely on charm. I know you rely on charm.
Yeah. That's literally it.
That's it, yeah. And I rely on charisma.
Yeah.
That's all I've got.
Yeah.
But when we add techniques, then we go to a whole new level of public speaking. So it's not just about relying on one. Try and get a whole range of techniques to improve. So when I say go, I want you to turn to your partner and discuss 2 words that you think really capture your communication style. They capture that bit of your personality when you're communicating to people, okay? So I want you to speak to each other, think of the 2 words, and remember the 2 words. Joe?
What do you think, John? How about yourself first?
I'm going to go with informal and insightful.
Informal and insightful. Can I ask you why?
I think that I prefer to speak in a very relaxed manner, that I like to bring a lot of knowledge and background information to what I'm doing.
Yeah, cool. I think for me, mine would be relaxed and direct.
Why is that?
Because I think that I'm naturally quite a relaxed person. So that's just the way the words come out. And I think perhaps to compensate for that, I try to be direct.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do, Paul, I shouldn't say your name, but I want you to stand up and I want you to present to us and let us know your partner's name and their 2 words.
Okay, this is my colleague John, and he says that his speaking style is insightful and informal.
Okay, good. John?
All right, and this is my colleague Paul, and he says that his style is relaxed and direct.
Okay, perfect. So now we're going to think you did good, but we think about when we're presenting to each other and you're presenting and communicating to an audience. Where does your voice need to go when you are communicating?
At least to your audience.
At least to your audience. John, do you agree with that?
I would say it needs to at least reach the whole audience.
Okay, reach the whole audience. How do you reach the audience? Where does your voice go?
To the middle?
To the middle?
To the middle of the audience?
Okay, so if you go to the middle of the audience or you try and get to the audience, reach the audience, you're going to fall short. Because Because sometimes we're surprised in a big room, if we're just speaking to this person, your voice will only go here. So when you're speaking, you have to reach the whole room. And how you do that is you speak to all four corners of the room. And then it should land on their ears perfectly. So we'll do it again. You're going to introduce your colleague again and their two words. And this time, focus on reaching all four corners of the room. John, how about you go first this time?
All right.
If you stand up.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is my colleague Paul, and he says that his style is relaxed and direct.
Hello everybody, this is my colleague John, and John says that his speaking style is insightful and informal.
Good. How did it sound second time?
Louder, for sure.
Louder.
Louder, yeah.
More filling the room, I would say.
Right. Yeah. And that's what you want to achieve. If you're a little bit louder, if you're filling the room, you're reaching your audience. Whether you're speaking to 1,000 people, 100 people, 2 people, even to a camera. If you're doing, I mean, you do training and I do training online. Now, you don't want to shout into the camera, but think about filling the room even on a camera. And these are the techniques that will help you improve in reaching your audience and getting your message across. So, I need to find a marker. Let's look at the words again. Remind me of Paul's words.
Relaxed and direct.
Okay, relaxed and direct. Okay, Paul, can you remind me of John's?
John's were informal, insightful.
Informal, insightful. Do we notice anything about these 4 words?
Well, I think you could say that relaxed and informal are kind of similar.
Yeah.
Could be considered to be similar.
Same word group.
Yeah.
How about these two? Are these similar?
Not similar, but they complement each other.
They do complement each other, but a different style, I suppose. So these are a little bit similar, these are different, and that reflects you and your personality. Your personality is perfect for you. So, you know, Paul, you may have a great personality, you do have a great personality, but John, you can't copy it. It's just not your personality. And vice versa. You know, John has a great personality, but if you try to copy his, it wouldn't work when you're delivering communication. So you have to think about your personality, how that projects to the audience, and using it. If you don't use your personality and you're blocking it, you're keeping something from the audience. And then you're losing authenticity, you're losing something along the way. Because people all around the world, they respond to people who are authentic and real. If they think you are acting, it's a little bit different. They don't quite respond in the same way. So that's important to remember with these 4 words. You just need to become you. So let's move on. We talked about how much you like public speaking. We talked about how good you think you are now. Let's look at the future. How good do you want to be? Now, usually people say 10. I want to be 10 because it's a seminar on communication and they think I have to give 10 as the answer. But it doesn't matter. You don't have to. The key is what you're comfortable with and what you want. If you're a 4 and you're happy being a 4 and it's good enough in your career and your life and you have balance, just say I want to be 4. If you want more than that, put a higher score. But before I ask that question, there's a follow-on question. Why do I want to be better? And that's important too. You cannot answer why I want to be better until you know where you want to go. So when you set yourself the target, then you say, well, why do I want to get there? So first of all, fingers, think about where do you want to be? How good do you want to be as a speaker, communicator? 8 and 7. Good. So both are quite high. You can put your hands down. Yep. Those are good targets. And the truth is, no one is a 10. Even the best speakers in the world, if they were to evaluate themselves, how good do they want to be or how good they are, they would say, I'm a 9. The best would say, I'm a 9. Why?
Well, I think your style and your personality can limit how good you can actually be.
Good.
as a
Style.
speaker.
Yep, style and personality, and it includes the audience, how they react to you. So it's hard to be perfect for everyone. Good, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with John. Also, I think that perhaps the best speakers have a good amount of humility. Perhaps that's one of the reasons why they are good speakers, so they wouldn't want to give themselves 10.
Yeah, so humility is an important factor. I think I've seen arrogant speakers. It's not very pleasing.
Sure, yeah.
And I wouldn't give them a 10,
Yeah.
even if they would give themselves a 10. Yeah, so
Right,
that's important. And also for all of us, we're always trying to learn and improve. If you give yourself a 10, you've nowhere to go. If you give yourself a 9, well then you can learn, improve, learn from each other. And that's important too. All right, so we've looked at that. The very last question, we looked at where you want to be, where you want to go. I said earlier there was another question of why you want to go there. Why do you want to improve? So again, I want you to speak to each other and discuss why you want to be an 8 and why you want to be a 7. Why do you want to improve?
Okay, Paul, so why do you want to be an 8?
Well, for me, the reason I want to be an 8 would be for professional reasons. I think as a trainer, it would be nice to improve. It would be nice to get to that level around 8. I think professionally it would certainly help me in my career. How about you?
I would agree with you as well, but I also would like to improve for personal reasons. Because I think maybe on a personal level, my communication skill, particularly with groups, is not so good.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, good. When the two of you were speaking, you gave your reasons for wanting to improve. Were there any similarities between your reasons, or were they very different?
I think I think we would say our reasons are different, but I do think that if John did improve his speaking with groups, that it would help him professionally too. But he sees it as a personal reason rather than professional.
Yeah. And I suppose what's in common is, whether it's work or personal, we all just want to improve in our lives and feel better about when we're doing something. Maybe it's pride in our work. That's good.
Yeah.
So over the next week, Paul, do you have a lot of training this week? Do you have any group training this week?
Yeah, I've got group training this week. Yeah.
All right, and one-to-one training?
Yes, both. Yes, today in fact.
Oh, today,
yes.
Wonderful, busy?
Yeah, going to be busy. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's what I like. All right. And John, how about you? A mix of training this week?
Mostly one-to-one.
Mostly one-to-one. Okay. So when you're doing your training this week, I want you to think about what we did in this very long 15-minute seminar, the lessons we've learned. Now, what were the lessons we learned?
I would say, as far as public speaking goes, to make sure that you're filling each corner of the room when you're addressing your audience.
And think about what kind of speaker you are, where you want to be, and your reasons for it.
Good, excellent. So I'm asking you for a guarantee, a promise, written in blood over the next week. When you're doing your training, you don't have to do it for the full 90 minutes, but in part of your training, focus on filling the room, the four corners, making sure you're reaching your audience effectively, and maybe think about what we talked about here, your personality, and how your personality can clarify our message and reach your audience even more.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much for attending today.
Thanks, Barry.
Thank you, Barry.
See you next time.
Yeah, take care.
Thank you.